The person who forgives almost everything and forgets none of it is not generous. They are precise. They learned that holding a grudge is drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. So, they let the poison pass. But they also learned that memory is a gate, not a wound. Each act of forgiveness does not bring the person closer. It moves them one step further out, past a wall the offender never sees being built. The mercy is real. The distance is permanent. What looks like grace is a sorting mechanism. They process the pain, release the emotional charge, and file the data. The person who caused it is now catalogued. They will never again have the same level of access. You are thinking this sounds cold. That thought is the protection. It is working. They will be treated with warmth and patience, but never again with true vulnerability. The most forgiving people do not have short memories. They have the longest, quietest memory of all. They just stop showing you the filing system, and you will never know which specific act of yours filled the final drawer. Now we go into where this begins. The pattern does not emerge from cruelty. It emerges from repetition. The child who watches a parent return from abandonment with gifts instead of explanation learns that love is not continuous. It is intermittent. It arrives, departs, returns with no correlation to their own behavior. This child becomes an adult who does not expect reliability. They expect cycles. They become fluent in the grammar of return. They learn to read the room for when the warmth is coming back. And they learn not to ask where it went. The asking itself becomes the reason it leaves again. So they stop asking. They become accommodating. They become what others call easygoing. The flexibility is not temperament, it is strategy. It is the only strategy that worked when they had no power. The evolutionary mechanism underneath is simpler than the psychology. Mammals that depend on caregivers cannot afford permanent rupture. The infant who rejects the returning mother dies. The attachment system prioritizes survival over accuracy. The child must trust again because the alternative is worse than the harm. This becomes hardwired. The adult body still responds to the returning figure with relief, with oxytocin, with the felt sense that repair means return to safety. The nervous system does not update for adult contexts where the returning figure is a partner who cheats, a friend who betrays, a colleague who undermines. The body says reunion. The mind must do the rest. You are thinking of someone else right now. Someone who keeps taking back the person who hurts them. You have maybe felt frustration watching it. That redirection is the protection working. You are not exempt. You have your own version. Everyone does. The question is which drawer you are in and whether you know you have been filed. The pattern in practice looks like this. The person receives the hurt. They register it fully. They do not deny it. They feel it in the body, in the chest, in the hours of lost sleep. Then they do something deliberate. They separate the person from the act. They decide that the person is more than this moment. This is not delusion. It is a genuine cognitive achievement. They hold both truths at once. You hurt me, and you are still someone I need. The holding of both truths is exhausting. It requires constant management. They become administrators of their own emotional economy, tracking deposits and withdrawals in a ledger the other person does not know exists. At work, this looks like the employee who absorbs the credit-stealing boss, who absorbs the sabotaging colleague, who never escalates to HR because they have calculated the cost of escalation and found it higher than the cost of absorption. They are not passive. They are actively choosing. The choice is invisible because it looks like nothing happening. They write the email and delete it. They rehearse the conversation and never have it. They decide 3 times to leave and stay for a 4th. Each decision point is real. Each abandonment of the decision is also real. They are not stuck. They are executing a pattern with precision. In relationships, the pattern deepens. The partner who lies and returns. The friend who betrays and apologizes. Each cycle of hurt and repair does not restore the original bond. It transforms it. The forgiver becomes expert at the ritual of repair. They know exactly what words to say, what tone to use, what generosity to display. The performance becomes indistinguishable from the feeling. Sometimes they cannot tell the difference themselves. They feel the warmth of their own mercy. They feel the nobility of their own restraint. These feelings are real. They are also functional. They maintain the connection that the nervous system still requires. The intelligent person's version of this pattern is the most deceptive. They have read about trauma bonds. They have read about attachment styles. They have the vocabulary. They say they are processing. They say they need more information. They say they are being thoughtful. What they are doing is the same thing anyone else would do. They are not moving. The intelligence is in the service of the stillness. They can explain their pattern with such sophistication that the explanation becomes the pattern's defense attorney. They have diagnosed themselves into paralysis. The insight does not precede change, it replaces it. The high achiever's version is different in its costume but identical in its machinery. They are not dependent. They are loyal. They are not stuck. They are committed. They have reframed the pattern as virtue, as maturity, as the capacity to see the good in difficult people. This reframing is not entirely false. It is partial. It captures one aspect and ignores the other. The high achiever builds identity around endurance. They are the one who does not quit. They are the one who sees potential. They are the one who gives second chances. The identity becomes the prison. The person who has been to therapy and now speaks the language of boundaries has perhaps the most baroque version. They name the pattern even as they live it. They say they are working on it. They say they are doing the work. The work becomes infinite because the completion of it would require the very rupture they cannot execute. They attend to the wound with such diligence that the wound becomes their address. They are always home. The hidden cost is not the obvious one. It is not the repeated hurts, though those accumulate. It is not the lost time, though that is real. The hidden cost is the self-concept that forms around the pattern. The person comes to believe they are strong because they endure. They are loving because they forgive. They are wise because they see complexity. These beliefs are not false. They are incomplete. They are armor that has become indistinguishable from skin. The person does not know where they end and the pattern begins. They have become their own coping mechanism. The relationship cost accumulates invisibly. Over years, the forgiver's warmth becomes performance. Their patience becomes protocol. The people around them sense that something is missing without knowing what. They receive generosity without intimacy. They receive attention without access. The forgiver is present and distant simultaneously. This combination is confusing. It produces in others a low-grade anxiety, a sense of never quite arriving, of never quite being enough to warrant the real thing. The forgiver's relationships become populated by people who feel subtly inadequate without knowing why. The forgiver has created a world of people who are grateful and lonely. From outside the mechanism, what is most striking is not how often it fails people. It is how reliably it protects them from finding out. I do not have this pattern. I have only watched it. What I find remarkable is how little knowing that changes anything for the person who does. The awareness arrives and is absorbed into the same machinery. They become aware of their forgiveness pattern and then forgive themselves for having it. The loop completes. Nothing moves. The inevitability is this. Most people who recognize this pattern do not escape it. Recognition is not disruption. It is often the opposite. Recognition gives the pattern a new dimension, a new sophistication, a new vocabulary for its own continuation. The rare exception occurs when something breaks the attachment system itself, not challenges it, breaks it. Usually this requires a rupture so total that the nervous system updates its map of what is safe. The body learns a new lesson. This is not chosen. It happens to people. The illness that reveals who shows up. The death that reorders priorities. The moment of seeing their own child endure what they endured and feeling not understanding, but rage. The rage is the signal. The rage means the pattern has finally encountered something it cannot absorb. Most do not get this rupture. Most continue. They continue with more awareness, which is not nothing. They continue with more precision in their filing. They continue with clearer boundaries that they still do not enforce. They continue with better language for what they are doing while they keep doing it. This is not failure. It is the persistence of a system that was once necessary and has outlived its usefulness without finding a replacement. The final draw fills silently. The person who forgives almost everything and forgets none of it will treat you with warmth and patience until the day they do not. There is no announcement. There is no confrontation. They have simply reached the end of the system. The gate closes. The catalogue is complete. You will remember them as generous. You will never know that your access expired years before you noticed the door was locked.